If you're still struggling with your passing, I have an easy fix for you, and all it has to do with is the shape of your body. Hey guys, welcome back to the Better at Beach YouTube channel. My name is Brandon. We are back in beautiful St. Pete Beach. And in this session, in this video, you are going to hear a couple tips on a shape of your body that will help your passing. Real quick, if you guys wouldn't mind, stand up again. Sorry for those resting. I know, it's your only break. All right, and let's find this hands on our knees position. All right, go ahead and drop those arms again. And now what I want you to do is I want you to kind of act like you're flexing your abs, okay? Or you're doing a crunch. Or if you can think about it, doing like you're tucking this bottom rib, okay? This is the shape that you should try to maintain throughout the process of your pass, okay? You can go ahead and stand up a little bit, release a little bit. But when you're making this form, when you're making this shape, you should try to fight to keep this shape throughout the process of your pass. Some of you guys, I'm noticing, whenever you're passing, you might be letting your hips come forward, or you're really watching the ball when it's served high or if it's tossed high. So think about whenever that person gets ready to serve the ball on the other side of the net, let's find this shape and let's try to maintain it the whole time. Something Mark said during warm-ups when you guys were shuffling across the court is he said, act like you have a bowl of soup on top of your head, or what I like to say is act like you're a foosball player that has a pole going through your ears, okay? So whenever you're shuffling from side to side, you can't come up and down, right? Because you've got that pole between your ears, or you've got that hot bowl of soup on your head, and you don't want to spill it, or you don't want to kill yourself. I know, it's deep here. It's real dark and deep. So as we move forward, you're still going to be focusing on those three keys, but now I want you to continue to focus on the shape, okay? So that's going to be our next real big focus for this session. What we're going to do before we get into gameplay is we're going to make it a little bit competitive. Remember, it is windy, but we're not complaining about that. I know none of you have said anything about it being too windy, not even me. But all we're going to do is we're going to have a kind of a similar setup to what our passing triangle was. I've got Dan over here being a passer, I've got Joe being a server, and then Maureen is being our target. Maureen is gonna step in the middle of the court, and she's gonna be about 6 feet from the net, 3 feet from the net. 6 feet from the net. I was testing you guys, nobody answered. 6 feet from the net, okay? So she's gonna be standing right around here, and when Dan passes the ball, she gets one big step to catch for it to be a good pass. So she can be in this position, she gets that one big step, and as long as she can maintain that one step, then Dan gets a point, okay? If Dan can't make a good pass, and Maureen has to take 2 steps, or 3, or 7, or 12, then Dan loses a point. So Dan is the only one scoring here. And what we're gonna do is it's a game called plus or minus 3, okay? So Dan is the only one scoring. I'm gonna go ahead and go through a couple rounds just to show you guys what the scoring looks like. And when we get to this on our individual courts, let's make sure that the target is the one keeping score. I don't trust the server and the passer. Okay, they're the ones competing. So the target is gonna be the score. I'll go ahead and announce these at first. Okay, so Joe, you're just gonna serve Dan. Good, that would be +1. +2, shank one, shank one. He's back to 1. Did you see that? Okay, so we're gonna keep going until Dan either gets +3 or if he gets -3. If there is a missed serve, it's an automatic good point or good pass for Dan. If there is an ace, it's an automatic takeaway for Dan, okay? Coaches, depending on the level of your courts and the wind and accuracy, if you want to do the first round with seams and sidelines, you can. And then the second round can be deep and short. Okay, so let's all try to incorporate some type of accuracy with our serving, and then we can open it up to kind of anywhere. All right, once we're done here, we're gonna move on to competitive play. Something I want to warn you guys of is I can almost promise that when you start to do gameplay, you are going to revert back to the technique that you did before you came here. You guys just spent an hour practicing perfect footwork, perfect arms, perfect angles. So whenever we get to that gameplay, like I was talking about, let's be uncomfortable. Let's be uncomfortable with playing, even if it feels a little different than we normally play. Alrighty, if you are interested in joining us for one of our amazing camps, make sure you sign up for our newsletter below so that you can get told when these camps are happening, where they are, and make sure that you are first on the list. These camps sell out quickly, so make sure you don't miss out.